Brain scan, unremarkable.
Paresthesias, doctors with no answers, and unremarkable brains? Huh? Today we are back at it, reacting to the thought-provoking medical scenes and unanswered injuries from the highly popular Resident Comic Boy ice cream sandwich. Alright, let's dive right in.
I don't know if you can tell from my voice right now, but I'm pretty sick. A vile harbinger of disease. Don't worry, it's not COVID. Everything's fine. Being sick has made me think about a lot of things, like what it's like to breathe.
You can have influenza, you can have RSV. There's lots of different viruses out there that can cause an upper respiratory infection, which is like runny nose, cough, congestion.
I remember when being sick used to be awesome. You would get sick, go to the nurse's office, parents would pick you up, your mom will make you soup, and you get to watch cartoons or something for the rest of the day.
I totally remember when I was a kid and I would get sick and you'd go to the nurse's office, and if you were sick enough or if you had fevers or you didn't look well, they'd call your parents would come pick you up and take you home and set you up on the couch with blankets or in your bed and potentially where your TV is, definitely watch cartoons. So I could totally relate to everything that he is discussing right now.
Now, at least for me, getting sick is like, well, I have to work and be sick. Who set up this is a scam. The world should not be this way.
A lot of jobs, even my own first jobs that I had before I went to medical school, you do get sick days. But most people use those sick days to actually be saved for vacation. If you're in a position where you have to be at work, you wear a mask, you say, I'm not feeling well, but I need to be here, but at least you're protecting everybody from your big sneezes and your big particles, so to speak.
There should be a service that's like, when you're sick, somebody comes over and they make you soup and they tuck you in and give you a little kiss on the head. They put on a movie and say, you cozy? You go, yeah, I'm cozy.
They kind of have this service for elderly population when you actually have like home nursing or somebody who's set up to come to the house. Typically you have to be sick enough that you cannot perform, say, your ADLs, which are activities of daily living.
The worst time that I've ever gotten sick was probably appendicitis. I already made a video about that though.
Yes, appendicitis, infection of your appendix down in your right lower quadrant of your abdomen. Starts off as benign discomfort of your abdomen, typically around your belly button, and then slowly will make its way over to the right lower quadrant. You'll get fevers, you can get nausea, you can get vomiting, you can get diarrhea, and anytime your body shakes or moves or goes over a bump, it hurts. Typically, you'll have surgery to remove your appendix.
The other more recent bad time that I got sick was about a year ago now, when I was starting to feel very tingly in my appendages. And I'm like, that's probably the worst thing possible. Let's Google everything.
It's the worst thing possible.
I knew it.
So that could be an electrolyte abnormality, which could be a few different ones. It could be dehydration. It could be anemia. It could be thyroid. There's a lot of different things that it could be. When it comes to what we call paresthesias or tingling of your extremities, we try to do a big, broad examination of different lab or ancillary tests that we can do to try to start narrowing down what's going on.
And then the next doctor that I see was like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, let's recommend you to a neurologist.
Recommending to a neurologist because a neurologist has to do with like your brain and your nerves.
Because it could be a problem with your brain. And then I go to that doctor and they're like, well, I don't know what it is either. But we should scan your skull and spine.
CT scan of the head to rule out any weird growths, abnormalities. If you can check to see if there was previous strokes, make sure there's no bleeding. And then they want to check his spine just to make sure that there's no other abnormality related to like lesions.
And I'm like, well, why don't we just start with that? It's been weeks of these symptoms.
So one is it's been weeks with these symptoms. So one, we know it's slow and that it's not progressing quickly, which is good. But it's also that they're still persistent, which is a little bit of a worry.
And I'm just sitting here, why don't we start with that? And so she's like, good news, we're not scanning a ton of people right now. We might be able to get you in today. I'm like, oh, this is good. She leaves for a little bit. She comes back. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot. We have to. And then she said some word that I totally can't remember, but it's the process.
Prior authorization means as a outpatient, when you're trying to get imaging or advanced imaging ordered, sometimes you have to have a justification to the reason why you're getting the images and have to be sent to the insurance company, so then the insurance company can then approve it, and that can take a while too.
I get approved, and so we move on. So I'm ready to get a scan for my skull and spine. It's inside of an MRI machine.
If they're going to scan somebody's spine, typically they're going to do an MRI. And the only time we typically use a CT scan for your spine is actually looking for traumatic injury to the bones of your spine and maybe to see if there's any compression of the spinal cord. But a better image is an MRI.
Like, are you claustrophobic? Maybe a little bit.
Yes.
I guess we'll figure out while I'm in there.
So an MRI is basically a tube, and it's literally like a couple inches away from your face if you're actually going through it. And you're in there for a relatively long time, and it makes really loud noises.
You're like, okay, cool. This is going to take about 1 hour. And that made me a little nervous because I'm a really restless person. At all times, I have to be moving.
If you're moving, how can it actually put moving images in a static form? It can't. You need to stay very still, and it's very uncomfortable.
They give you like these little headphones, and then they're like, do you like classical music or jazz music? And I'm like, oh, let's do jazz music. And then you go into the tube, and it's really, really tight, and it's kind of freaky. But the jazz music actually helps a little bit.
You got to close your eyes, because if you're trying to like look up, you're gonna get claustrophobic, you're gonna get nauseous. It's not gonna be good.
I did surprisingly well. We got all the scans done. We only needed to redo one of them because I kind of twitched my head at one point after I was suppressing for so long. And I come out, they say, okay, we're gonna look at these, we're gonna see what's up, and then we're gonna tell you. I'm actually like really freaked out because at this point we're thinking, oh, a brain scan, the thing that's the most delicate part of your body, and they have to look at it and see if something's wrong with that. That's kind of freaky.
You know, maybe you can move your toes a little bit because you're not getting those imaged. Maybe you can move your fingers a little bit, as long as you're not moving the major structures that they're looking at.
So we wait, and then the results come back. The results were brain scan, unremarkable.
Your brain is a remarkable thing, but when it comes to looking for disease, when something says unremarkable, just identifies it. There's nothing that is abnormal.
Okay, I think technically I understand that that's a good thing. You didn't have to say it like that. Spine scan, also unremarkable. I came up clean. So what the heck is wrong with me? Turns out we never found out. I spent thousands upon dollars waiting, ultimately to amount to, I don't know what it is. And then eventually the symptoms went away. Great. What's the moral of the story here? I don't know. Thanks for watching.
And this happens so much in medicine. Sometimes you can't find the abnormality that is there. It doesn't mean that there isn't an abnormality there. There's just something that we can't find that is obvious. One, you always have to look at hydration status and what you're eating. Those two things are very big. What environments are you in? Are you in a weird area where there could be heavy metals or weird parasites or a lot of things that we wouldn't necessarily test for? So this is really good. This is very important that we talked about these topics. I really did like this, and I really did enjoy this, and I definitely want to do more. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's any clips that I need to check out. Double check in the link in the description below. We're still running some merch, so check it out. And as always, make sure you binge watch this playlist right here. And I would appreciate it if you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and hit that like button for me. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.